Let's get it popping. Let's get it busy. It's time for a little action on a Sunday. Week 16 NFL coming to you live, rocking and rolling. We'll see if Tommy joins us here this morning. I haven't heard anything back, but hopefully does pop in. If not, we got you covered every single game on the card today. And also, what happened yesterday, man? Philadelphia Eagles easily dispatch of Washington. And I got to tell you, man, I thought Jalen Hurts would have a good game yesterday, and he did. Went over his rushing prop, over his touchdown prop, over his completion prop, over his attempt prop, under on his yards, which is what I was sitting on yesterday. Yeah, real fun stuff in that game. Game number 2, I did have the Green Bay Packers. Ended up losing that full game, but I did bet the Chicago Bears at the half plus 2.5. Almost had the middle. I almost had the middle, and I wasn't able to come away with it. Boy, that's upsetting at this point, isn't it? It is upsetting. I should have had that bad boy. We should have had that middle. But we didn't, but it's okay. But today, I love a lot of stuff. Already put out a free play. If you're not following me on X/Twitter, at Donnie Rightside, Justin Jefferson, I got him actually at 52.5 and 58.5. He's actually listed at 57.5 today. I think he gets 60-plus yards here on the New York Giants, but we'll hit that game and much, much more as we get down to business. Anybody has any questions in the chat box, reach out. I'll certainly be purveying that and surveying that just to see where we're at this bit. So we'll see what happens at this point. We'll go through, we'll rock and roll, and we'll see what happens at this point. What do you think? What do you think today? Action, left and right, fun. By the way, every time I play music on here, it seems like they want to dock me at this point, right? Dock me for this, people. Dock me for this. Yeah. Boom. All right, let's get to it. Let's get the screens ready. Let's move me down to the side right here so you can see my pretty little face at the bottom of the screen. But let's get the business up here as it sits. Buffalo and Cleveland. 107, 108 on the rotation. 1 o'clock start. 79% of the tickets here coming in on Buffalo. 21% of the tickets coming in on Cleveland. This line opened up at 8.5 at FanDuel. See this right here? Circle it through. Let me just back out right here. There we go. 8.5s. 10.5s now, game day. 41.5s. I don't love this game. I didn't take any wagers. But if we do look at the weather conditions, if they will pop up for me here, doesn't seem like they want to. I saw it's like 25, 26 degrees. 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, so not great, but no precipitation in the forecast. Should be okay with that spot. Let's go over here and take a look at FanDuel. Oh, come on, man. I hate when I hit the wrong thing. Hold on, people. Sometimes I jump ahead of myself on this. Let me just go back. Let's X out of that. Let's see if we can share the screen once again. Let's go to FanDuel. Hey! There we are. There we are. All right, now let's go. So we have this. Scrolling over here. Sometimes it takes the technical difficulties here, boys. You know how I get down. Scroll down. Here we go. Okay. 10.5, 41.5 as you see there. Quick passing props in this game. I don't want to waste a lot of time because I didn't wager on anything here. Maybe somebody in the chat box did at this point. Let me see here. There we go. What do you got here? Little comments here. Mixter, once again, thanks for the 2 picks yesterday. We had an awesome day, by the way, in college football, man. 3-0 in those pop shots, man. Good stuff. Shador Sanders, 177.5. How do we think that one goes? Josh Allen, 206.5. 2 really low numbers. As I told you guys, I don't have anything in this game. I don't think it makes sense to have multiple wagers here just to try to see what happens. Shador Sanders, not a very good quarterback. Banged up offensive line. The Buffalo Bills need a victory here. Is it one of those get in, get out games? Touchdown passes, Shador, minus 168 to throw 1. He probably does that. Josh Allen to throw 2, 1.5 at a plus 116. You can never go wrong betting Josh Allen, though, to be honest. You really can't. Receiving yards, Fannin, always going to be up there. Shakir. You know what? Get rid of this game. Get rid of this game. We don't need this one here. Let's go back and get more pressing needs here. New York Jets and the New Orleans Saints. I don't have anything in this game either. Did anybody bet this one? Because you take a look here. 58.5, 48% of the tickets coming in on the Jets, 52% on New Orleans. But look at this line. 3.5s up to 6.5 at just about every outlet. Shuck is a 6.5-point favorite. Well, granted, he's going against Brady Cook, undrafted rookie free agent, total sitting at 39.5. I'm not in love with this game at all. I don't think we need to spend all that much time and really see like, hey, what's the angles here? I think Shuck's okay. I think Cook's going to throw because they want to evaluate it. But outside of that, I have nothing in this game. It's kind of whack at this point as you take a look. Minnesota and the New York Giants. Now we got some action in this game. Let's take a look at those weather forecasts. Windy, about 15-mile-an-hour winds, which is normal for the Meadowlands this time of year. 44 degrees, no precipitation in the market. Strong on quarterback, so it's not like you have a Tua Tagovailoa situation with either one of these guys, so you should be okay. This game opened up at 1.5, as you see right here. But now we're seeing 2.5 in the marketplace, and I agree with it. 67% of the tickets coming in on Minnesota. I think Minnesota's the better football team overall. Giants aren't trying to win. Minnesota is out, but they're still in evaluation mode. Who knows what we're getting out of Jackson Dart? But let's flip it over here and slide down and take a look at some of these prop bets. Because I already told you, I love Justin Jefferson. So if we slide this over and go to receiving props on FanDuel, Justin Jefferson listed at 59.5. I told you guys I have 52.5 and also have 58.5. It was 57.5 a little bit earlier today. Put that video out. I think he gets the 60 yards. That's one of my favorite bets of the week, specifically from a prop betting perspective. I think it makes sense. He's going to get the 60. Understand this. Justin Jefferson's looking for that 1,000 yards. That's the only thing that's going to be important to him for the next 3 games. What a better place to start against that New York Giants secondary than to get your 60-plus yards today. Maybe wraps up 1,000 today. Can he get $180? What do you think? Wandale, 50.5. Okay. Slayton, Addison. Now you're just getting into the secondary options, which I don't like. Rushing props in this game, gave up on those too. Passing props in this game. You're always getting a discount here on J.J. McCarthy. I do think J.J. has a really good chance to throw for 200-plus yards against the Giants, but more methodical, right? You just need to have a chasing champion team like the New York Giants, right? Where it's like, okay, we'll go back and forth. We'll score. We'll move the football. We're bad on defense. We'll go for it on 4th down. We just need that running mate, and you might get that today. But for me, it's Justin Jefferson makes the most sense, even though I do think the Minnesota Vikings do win this football game. Tampa Bay and Carolina. This is one I've been watching all week long. 47% of the tickets coming in on Tampa Bay, 53% on Carolina. So a pretty good split here. However, this line did open up as a Tampa Bay favorite, as you see at FanDuel at 2.5. They now sit at 3s, and most of the outlets are 3s across the board. The one thing I do like about this game is Baker Mayfield getting healthier for him. Had that, hey, let me throw a Hail Mary. Who was that against anyway? Was that against the Rams? They got pulverized. Hurts that shoulder. Doesn't miss a game, but every week that shoulder is getting stronger. So if we're looking down here and we go into the wagers on this game, again, still sitting at 3 at FanDuel. You look at the passing props. I think Mayfield's going to have a good day today. 231.5, that number is up. He was hovering around that like mid-220s range. 230, I agree with that. Bryce Young, even 207, I think I like that as well, but I do like Mayfield's better. Mayfield's touchdown props to throw, over 1.5, minus 120. I think it makes a lot of sense. They're as healthy as they ever been at wide receiver coming into this football game. Kate Otten coming back at tight end. I think it makes sense they move the football and they win this game, but I do like Baker Mayfield. Receiving props. You're not getting the discounts that we saw in the past for Mike Evans. He's back. He's healthy. He's strong. He's going to get the football. Secondary options. Egbuka, 35% makes some sense. Godwin, 34.5. Bucky Irvin, 16.5 out of the backfield. And then there's Kate Otten coming back. His tight end that he's needed. Hasn't really had a tight end when Kate Otten's banged up and hurt. Got to press it down on the needle. I do like Baker Mayfield in this game. Rushing props, not in love with it. Bucky Irving, 63.5. And let me just put this board up here as I was going through it. Bucky, 63.5. Rico Dowdle, 58.5. Chuba, 31.5. Tucker, backup running back. Baker Mayfield, always, look, this is a huge game that's probably going to decide the NFC South. Quarterbacks like to run because these games mean more than other games. I think Baker Mayfield also gets over that 12.5. I think that also does make some sense. So how you feeling about that game? Easy to take Tampa Bay, but I think it's going to be a close one. Like Tampa, I don't think is blowing anybody out, to be honest. I really don't think so. Let's get back to the next game in line. How about this one, guys? How about this? Kansas City and Tennessee. See that opening line? The look-ahead line, 11.5. That was expectations before this game was, oh, yeah, Patrick Mahomes and the entire Chiefs team was going to be out. But the Chiefs are still a favorite by -3. Understand this. Gardner Minshew isn't an undrafted rookie free agent. He's got a lot of starts in the NFL and has had some success. Weather conditions down there in Tennessee today, for some reason, we're not popping up on a lot of these things. There we go. 50 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour winds, no rain. Should be a pretty clean one. But where do you go in this game? I don't have any bets in this because this is one of those where it feels like a preseason atmosphere. Both of these teams out, not necessarily caring about winning, but Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs have won a lot more lately than the Tennessee Titans have, even though they're out of the playoffs. Rashee Rice isn't there. So if we look at the passing props, let me just flip it over here so you guys can see it along with me. 180.5 for Cam Ward, 212.5 for Gardner Minshew. I actually like Cam Ward's 180.5 before even more than I like Gardner Minshew's 212.5. Kansas City's got the better defense here, but also they're still banged up even in the secondary. I would never go near this game from a side or a total perspective, but I do think Cam Ward still is in evaluation mode. Now, granted, Travis Kelce said, here's one of those again, the Justin Jefferson thing I just brought up a couple minutes ago. Sometimes you're not really looking at X's and O's overall. Let me just bump myself up here for a second. Hear me out on this. When you're playing let's just say you're out of the playoffs. So you're just finishing up the string of the season. 3 games left for the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't know if Travis Kelce is coming back, and quite frankly, the way he's been talking, I don't think he is. Gardner Minshew is a veteran. If Kelce's going to play his last 3 games in Kansas City, he's not going to do it as a decoy. They're going to get him the football. Backup quarterback is just going to make him happy. 50.5 for Travis Kelce makes a lot of sense today. Now, you don't have Rashee Rice, who's that target monster. More catches for Kelce, but also 43.5 for Xavier Worthy, 35.5 for Marquise Brown. Somebody's got to pick up that slack. Like, I do think Travis Kelce is a good play at 50.5. That's a little bit more elevated than what we've seen for him in the past couple weeks. But again, no Rashee Rice. Somebody's got to pick up the slack. Backup quarterback who is a veteran. Kelce might not be playing after this year. He's going to get his targets. I don't think Kelce finishes this game with 3 targets and 1 catch. I just don't see that. From the opposite side, I mean, good luck taking anybody here, honestly, on the Tennessee Titans. It just doesn't make any sense. I think Mike Evans does eat here, Boji Joe. I do. That's Baker's guy. He is fully healthy, no restrictions, whole ball out. Can Casey stop Tennessee's running game? See, what's the motivation in this game, So if we do take a look at that, and let me just get this back up on the screen. So let's flip it back this way, and let's go to the rushing props in this game. Tony Pollard, 59.5. It does make some sense. I'm not going to lie. It does make some sense. Isaiah Pacheco, 38. Kareem Hunt, 27.5. Gardner Minshew, 5.5. If you had to take one guy in this game, it's probably going to be Pollard. He should get 15 carries, and if he does, he's probably going to take that down. Lower scoring game, nobody blows anybody out. You can always lean on the running game from both sides. But again, don't love that game. Chargers and the Cowboys, 1 o'clock start, very interesting game. You see these numbers, 74% here for the Chargers, 26% for the Dallas Cowboys. And I do agree with that because you are looking at the Chargers, something to play for, Dallas, nothing to play for. But understand this, we're still early right now in the season for quitting. Quitting usually starts when a team is so injured, dead and buried, they wrap it up. Sort of like what you see now the Kansas City Chiefs. Hey, we're sitting a lot of our offensive linemen here. If you're healthy, you're going to go, but if you're banged up, you're not playing. This line has gone from a 3, as you see right here, down to a 1.5 at most outlets. And rightfully so it should, because Dallas is out of it. But Dallas isn't sitting anybody today. Like, DeRon Bland is out. That's going to affect their secondary. Trayvon Diggs is back. He might get cooked today. First time back in the game. Who even knows if he has the wind or the stamina to stay in the entire time? But the one thing I know about the Dallas Cowboys offense, they are going to be slinging it today, which means the Chargers must accommodate and return fire. That's why you see the 48.5s turn to 50.5s. So let's go ahead over here and bring up this game and take a look at some of these prop bets in here. Passing props. Dak Prescott, 249.5. Justin Herbert, 237.5. I think it's legitimate that they both get over that number. They're throwing today, and they're going to throw some more today. The Dallas Cowboys will be going for it on 4th down. Hey, if they don't get it, they're out of the they're already out of the playoffs. Already out of the playoffs. Let's see what my guy, Jay Louis Sa. Yo, Mr. Don, you say Justin Jefferson over 57.5 yards. You like the over? Yes. Yeah, I do. I like it all today. I like it all today for JJ. I really do. Passing touchdowns today. Dak over 1.5, minus 142. Makes some sense. Justin Herbert over 1.5. Look at his price. Minus 172. That makes sense as well. But here's the receiving props. Guys, I like in that. Look, you're always going to have these 2 up top here for the Dallas Cowboys in CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. They're always going to be there. Understandably, they should. Lad McConkey, 48.5. I think he has a good day. Keenan Allen, 40.5. I think he has a good day. Gadsden, 40.5. Has a chance to have a good day. If I had to pick 2 players at wide receiver or tight end, it would be right here, though. It'd be right here. Lad McConkey and also Keenan Allen. Rushing props in this game. Don't love it. Javante's always going to be the lead back at 69.5. He's always going to be there. He's going to get his carries, going to get his goal line carries. Had a very good year. Just hasn't worked out actually in wins for them. Hampton, Vidal, split in time. Here's a good one here. Again, must-win situation for the Chargers to keep up and certainly make the playoffs. 20.5s. If you don't have a great offensive line, the quarterback will run. He's done it repeatedly this year, even with that bad hand. I do think that makes some sense as well. Touchdown scoring props, haven't really looked at it too many. I don't have any touchdown props, by the way, bet today. But we're going to go over some instances that might make some sense. Just like this. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Do you think Dak throws a touchdown pass today? One of those two guys is probably going to catch that pass. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, plus 145, plus 160 makes sense here. Yes, Mixter, I see you there in the chat. It absolutely goes over. Boji Joe says, where has Pickens been the last 2 weeks? Pouting. Maybe he comes back today. One of those two guys catching a tutty today. If we did it on the opposite side for the Chargers, where's our double up today? Ladd McConkey, 170, and let's go Gadsden. 170 and 2-1. All you have to do is hit one of those guys on each team, and you cash in tickets, man. It's simple. You can't do it at minus 145, minus 160. You understand that. But when you do have some options where they're close, it does make some sense. Let's get back to the games at hand. Look at this one. Cincinnati and Miami. 60% of the tickets on Cincinnati. How does this happen, by the way? T. Higgins is going to play in this game. Are you kidding? By the way, this line was up as high as 4.5. Let me just go over here. See FanDuel right here? On the 18th, 4.5. 21st, which is today, 4.5. 9:06 and 24 seconds this morning, it changed back to 3.5 at FanDuel. But Burrow's going to have his complete complement of weapons today. Quinn Ewers is starting at quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Let's take a gander at some of this. I didn't bet anything in this game. I was very close, though, because I do think Burrow, who's really, woe is me as of lately, he really should snap out of it today. This is the time you want to snap out of it. So if we go over to touchdown props, is the first thing we're going to look at this game. They ain't letting us get away with it, are they? Minus 125, plus 125 split on Jamar Chase and T. Higgins here. They ain't letting us get away with it. Now, Quinn Ewers is in. What are your expectations for Quinn Ewers? Here's my expectations. I don't know if he's going to be good or bad. Here's the reason why. They're going to let him throw the football today, though. 179.5 actually seems like a doable number for a rookie quarterback getting the start. And you don't make money betting rookies in the NFL for the most part. I'm telling you. Specifically early in their career with starts. But that's a terrible defense. Joe Burrow is going to be slinging it all over the yard. He's going to have to keep up. And they're going to put him in spots that he can keep up. Now, I see here here's an interesting one here, too. Boji Joe says, Achane runs for 350. If this was a week ago, I completely agree with you, Boji Joe. I completely agree with you. But what's the goal today? Run Achane 35 times? Or actually let Quinn Ewers work out of it? Now, hear me out on this from an angle perspective on these two. You do need to run the football today if you want to give Quinn Ewers honest looks. If the Cincinnati Bengals are just in we're going to peel back mode and smash the pocket, you're going to go up in flames. I'm sorry. So he does have to run the football to at least keep that defense honest, even if that team stinks out loud on defense. You know as well as I do. Receiving props in this game. Jamar Chase, he's got 15, 16 targets. Well, at least T. Higgins is back to take some of those away. Jalen Waddle, he's like the only wide receiver that they have on the Dolphins, and maybe the young rookie quarterback just feeds him the football. T is at 57.5. Waller, tight end, is usually your best friend as a young quarterback, as an athletic tight end over the middle. Devon Achane, he's probably going to catch 27.5. There are options here, but it's hard, once again, to wrap your head around exactly what you get from a young rookie quarterback. But I'm going to tell you now, he's going to have the opportunities to throw the football today, and that sometimes outweighs everything. And again, Cincinnati should be able to get after it. Should be able to. Rushing props. Achane, 83.5. He should eat that up. I just wish it was 1 week early and the Dolphins technically were still playing for something, though, to be honest. Joe Burrow, 4.5. Ewers, 6.5. Rookie quarterbacks sometimes do run, but this is a terrible, terrible pass rush that he's going to face from Cincinnati here. Let's get to it, baby. Let's get to it. Atlanta, Arizona, 4 o'clock game. 52% of the tickets, Atlanta, 48 for Arizona. Nice split there. 1.5 point favor for Arizona flipped over to Atlanta. I agree with that. Atlanta's going to win this football game, and heck, I might even be in play a little bit later. Just want to make sure everything goes clear for Drake London, who is expected to play today. So let's go down and take a look at FanDuel, because some of these props might be quite interesting in this game, because I like the side more than props, to be honest. Passing numbers, Brissett throws it all over the yard. He's going to throw 40 times today. Looks like Harrison is going to come back as well, which should help them out at wideout. Take a little bit of pressure off of Michael Wilson on one side. And of course, Trey McBride, one of the best tight ends in football. Kirk Cousins, 231.5. I'm never really a big Kirk Cousins guy throwing the football for a huge amount of yards. But you really have to take what he's done in the past couple games out of your mind because this is a different situation. If you're getting Drake London back in this game and he's full go, full healthy, that's something you might want to watch. That's something you might want to watch today. Passing touchdowns, Brissett, 1.5 minus 118, Cousins, 1.5. The receiving props, this is where it gets interesting. Drake London, you're not getting discounts coming back. He's 67.5 as it's listed right here. Trey McBride, 71.5. He gets unlimited targets from Brissett. He should be good. Pitts, who, look, apparently, Kirk Cousins does like, but some of those targets that went to Pitts, they're going to start getting slung out there at the wide receiver position to Drake London. Are we on a pitch count? Are we healthy? I do want to read up on that just a little bit more once their pregame warmups come out. Michael Wilson's been very good, but does he get his toes stepped on from Marvin Harrison? Rushing props. Bijan at 90.5. Man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like Boji. It sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? Like why they're risking him. Talking about Drake London, which means, again, how many times are we giving the handoffs to Bijan Robinson? That's a tricky one. Touchdown scoring market today. Bijan minus 210. Get out of here, man. Stop it. He's going to score, but I'm not taking 210. Trey McBride, a decent chance. Carter, decent chance. London, decent chance. I guess if I had to do the double up for Atlanta, it would be Drake London and it would be Kyle Pitts. 135 and plus 190, I do think makes some sense here. Great football game at 4:05. See this highlight right here? That's Jacksonville and that's Denver. 58% of the tickets here coming on Jacksonville, as you can see right here. This line, however, opened up at 3, sits at 3.5. That is a big, big discrepancy here. Jacksonville has been on fire. These two quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence and Bo Nix, playing absolutely fantastic football here. Liam Cohen has really stepped up to the plate there, getting that head coaching job in Jacksonville, reinvigorated that offense. Bo Nix has been nothing short of spectacular, maybe one of my favorite players now in the NFL, just watching him operate. You know, he gives me a lot of feels, and, they're still too young, quarterbacks in their career. But if you watched last night, Caleb Williams, he's hard to sack, man. He moves and manipulates that pocket. It's the same thing with Bo Nix. There's nothing more satisfying than betting a football team where you know that quarterback is under pressure and can get out of that pressure and make the right read and throw and execute. He does that. Trevor Lawrence has been sensational with that too. Last week, remember that play? It was like 3rd and 15, dropped back to the 25, juked 2 or 3 dudes, ran down the left sideline into the end zone. He's been awesome, man. He has been really, really awesome. I do think Denver wins this game, but that hook is massive. I'm keeping my eye on that for a 4:05 start. Pittsburgh and Detroit. We're going right to the props here, people. 7.5's now showing up. I agree with this. This line is telling you Detroit should smoke out the Pittsburgh Steelers today. TJ Watt not playing in this game once again because of his dry needle that was puncturing and collapsing his lung, which is crazy to even think about. But let's go ahead here and let me just bring up this game and we'll take a look right here on this tab. 7.5, 52.5. I do think we get points. Touchdown scores. We'll get that in just a second. Passing props in this game. Aaron Rodgers, 234.5. Let me tell you something. He don't get near 234.5. They ain't coming close in this game. Jared Goff, 267.5. He's in a dome. He's going to try to light that secondary on fire because Tua stinks. Don't worry. Jared Goff's going to have time to throw and he's going to be able to whip it downfield. Touchdown passes. This is telling you a lot right now. Now, Aaron Rodgers is dropping here. I like Aaron Rodgers to throw 2 touchdown passes, not because I think they win, but that means they get a lot more possessions today. You got the 3 big tight ends in the red zone, DK Metcalf, and now you get some veteran presences starting to show up like Adam Thielen. There are chances to throw the football in the red zone. I think Aaron Rodgers cashes in. Of course, Jared Goff should. He's minus 205. Anybody taking that today? Receiving props. Amon-Ra St. Brown. If he's healthy, he's going to be open. They're going to get him the football. No doubt in my mind he gets over 82.5. Jameson Williams, 68.5. He's always that wild card. It's like, hey, can he get 3 catches? You tell me he gets 3 catches, he's going to get 68.5 because that's just what he does. DK Metcalf, 61.5. Probably should get there because they're going to be throwing the football. Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. Kenneth Gainwell's always that wild card. Aaron Rodgers loves him. He's probably going to get his number here. Receiving props. Let me just go to player total receptions. Where is he at? Gainwell, 4.5. He probably still does get the 5 because I think they're losing. Like, I think Gainwell's a pretty good option here. I do. Where's my big dudes at, though? Where's the big boys at? Darnell Washington, 23.5. Fryermuth, 19.5. Jonnu, 11.5. Like, I do think there's going to be some dump-offs in this game. Rushing props, Gibbs, 75.5. Decent option. Warren, 40.5. Decent option. Gainwell, 28.5. Always an option. Touchdown scoring market. 310, it says right here, right? 310 for Jahmyr Gibbs. Come on, people. Come on. You can't even do a double up that's decent on Detroit because they're expecting to score like 5+ touchdowns, apparently. But if I go Steelers, can't go wrong with this one again, man. Jalen Warren, 155. Gainwell, 135. And no, I don't mean parlay. Straight bets right here. 155 and 135. One of those two guys is going to get in the end zone tonight. I don't think there's any question about that. All right, let's switch it back over here and take a look at some of these lines. 4 o'clock game. Las Vegas and Houston. Geno Smith and that poorest team, 14.5-point favorite. I agree with it here. 69% of the bets coming in on Houston. 38.5. That's just going to come down to if you can even move the football for the Raiders. Now, granted, Kenny Pickett can't do anything. Little two gloves Kenny outdoors. They were horrendous last week. They didn't even get 100 yards total in the entire 4-quarter game. They got blown out by 30 points. But Geno's going to throw the football around. I'm not saying they're going to cover, but maybe that offense looks a little bit better than it did last week because, quite frankly, it can't look any worse. But if we are going back, let me just flip over to this FanDuel tab, and we'll slide down to Houston. Passing props, C.J. Stroud should get 224. You know how he doesn't get 224? Just like I lost that on Jalen Hurts last night, where you have a quarterback situation where Geno gets hurt again and Kenny Pickett comes in, you just take the air out of the football and the game is over. He should get there. Passing touchdowns, CJ up to -158. He should get there and throw 2 touchdowns in this game. Receiving props today. You know the main man. It's Nico Collins, 66.5. He should get that today, no doubt in my mind. Brock Bowers, 52.5, just getting unlimited targets late because they're out of it and they're getting blown out by 2+ touchdowns. He should get there as well. It's just tricky to go for anybody else because I do think that there's a chance in this game where Houston doesn't need to do anything in the second half but hand the football off to like Woody Marks. Is Woody Marks even active today, by the way? We don't know the inactives till a little bit later. But we're only getting Ashton Genty, who just looks like he's a stone statue back there, running with no explosiveness. C.J. Stroud and Geno Smith, the 2 quarterbacks. Tonight, big-time ball game. The sharpest play on the board tonight is the Baltimore Ravens. See this little cursor right here that I'm circling on this game? 83% of the tickets coming in on the New England Patriots. Line opened up 2.5 right here. See that at FanDuel? Where do we sit right now? 3.5. Busted through a key number despite having over 8 out of every 10 tickets come in on the New England Patriots. I like the Baltimore Ravens tonight. I really do. I haven't looked at too much props because I'll be able to do that a little bit later and see what we have. But no doubt in my mind, the Baltimore Ravens going to storm the fort and win this game. But let me see what we have here. Passing props. I mean, if you think Baltimore's going to win, it means you think Lamar's going to have a pretty good day. 212.5 makes some sense. Passing touchdowns, Lamar, -126, Drake May, plus 108. They run it in way too much, by the way. Man needs to start throwing some touchdown passes. Zay Flowers, like the only dude you can trust in that lineup at wide receiver, he's 62.5. Stephon Diggs feels low, but that team just spreads the football around all over the place. Derrick Henry, 76.5, trying to control that ground game. Travion Henderson, 50.5. Don't love it here. Touchdown scoring props. Can we get a double up? Derrick Henry's cheap tonight. How about that? -140. Travion Henderson, +110. Ramondre Stevenson, +210. Yeah, that's okay. But if I had to do let's take Derrick Henry out of the equation. Who would you go? Let's go double tight ends. Likely, Andrews. There's your double up, people. Right there. Look at the price points. +270, +150. One gets in. You're minted. You're minted and away you go. Minted and away you go. Well, there you go, boys and girls. I love Sundays, man. Like this part of the day is like, most people got to get back to work tomorrow and I got to start waking up, at the crack of dawn again. But this is where you really, really like it. Like I love the final 10 minutes here before the 1 o'clock games. By the way, the 1 o'clock games, if you're not betting them, they really stink from start to finish. 4 o'clock's going to give you a little bit of something there. Pittsburgh and Detroit could be fun. Jacksonville, Denver is a very good game. And then the nightcap, New England and Baltimore. Tomorrow night, very intriguing, which we're going to break down as well ad nauseum tomorrow between San Francisco and India. Like a lot of action a certain way in that one too. So there we go, baby. So what's that prop? So Houston defense scores more touchdowns than the Raiders. What's that prop? Let me see here real quick. real quick for you on this one before we get out of here. Let me just go back to this screen, and let's take a look at the touchdown prop for Houston. Let me just get out of this. Let's go to NFL. Slide it down. Can Houston score a defensive touchdown, and what is that going to look like? Let's see right here. Touchdown scores, where are you at? Touchdown scores, where are you at? Bop, 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 bop. Slide it down. Slide. Houston defense, 7-1 price. 7-1 to score touchdown. Pick 6, baby. Don't worry, takeoff picks. We're popping, man. Follow along with Twitter. I'll be out there all day posting some videos, just kicking back and watching some football and having some fun. But I'm ready to go, and I hope you guys are as well. Let's cash in these tickets. Thanks for tuning in. DonnieRightside.com. The boys are in charge. Let's hit it.